And a very big welcome. Great to have you here. Great to have you here. Welcome everybody for today's AI Strategic Roadmap session. Let's jump straight into it. I've got a few new things. If you've been here before, please pop a 1 in the chat. If it's your first time here, pop a 2 in the chat. Great to have everyone along for the session today. Fantastic. Welcome back. Welcome back. And let's get into today's AI Strategic Roadmap session. You know, one thing's for sure with the speed of change, like we've even seen it in the last, 24 hours, Facebook has released, or Meta, I should say, has released the new Llama model. So we're going to keep seeing the quality of the AI models increasing. Now, if you haven't, when I use the word model, if it doesn't make sense yet, I will definitely help you with the definition for that one as the morning progresses. We've got just on an hour together. I'm going to go quite fast because there's a fair bit here. There'll be a recording available online afterwards on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/@AI
Recording in progress.
And as well as available on LinkedIn as well. So let's jump into the AI Strategic Roadmap. With things changing so much, it's so important to have a plan. And if you've been here before, I've got some new slides for you to help you. There'll also be a handout coming from today's session, and spoiler alert, a book coming shortly to support this one. Here's the end game of a strategic roadmap. To be able to set a vision of where you're heading with the different types of implementations that you're going to have in your organization. You're going to make a decision on what is good value to get started on today, what's high value so you can do it now, what's high value and maybe consider doing it later because it's going to take a bit longer to implement, or what are the things that might be the bright shiny objects that are grabbing your attention but really not going to serve you so well. We're going to come back to this image a little later on, but let's get started with the basis of who the session's for. This is for business leaders. If you're an AI or machine learning expert, we're not going into heavy technical ideas here. We can do that in other forums. Today is really about understanding how do you position AI in the different sections of your business and some new ideas as well that can inspire you of what's possible. What I really want for you is to be prepared. As I say, the good old Boy Scout motto is be prepared, and that's on both body and mind. And the mindset portion is all about using AI at work. Now, things are changing at a really rapid pace, and we're definitely seeing a world where AI augmentation will become a standard, but not every business is running at this as fast as others. So now is the opportunity to just keep updating your knowledge, start applying so that you can take advantage of this and allow AI to be a differentiator for you today, because in 2 and 3 years' time, it won't be. It'll just be the normal standard approach that everyone's using. Now, an example of those that are moving fast, Klarna, who are a global fintech, powers the e-commerce for businesses like Nike and Macy's. And Expedia, they actually, in their call centers, they do a lot of outsourcing. And with that, in their call centers and their chat, they replaced the chat with over 700 team members with AI. The AI agents are able to do that work. So with it, though, it hasn't, not all people lost their jobs. Some went to a higher position where they're now running the AI. And this is the world that we're looking at, where we'll be leading the machines very shortly. And it's a core skill for everyone to understand. Now, the pace of change that's coming can be explained in this graph. The pace of change that we've seen with computers and their compute power has essentially doubled every 2 years for quite some time. And now we hit this inflection point where with AI and machine learning, it's now 10xing every year. So you can think about how much that curve just essentially goes vertical, and the speed of change that we will see in the next 6 months will make the first part of the year seem like we're at kindergarten with the changes that are coming. Now, the World Economic Forum met earlier this year, and they predicted that 40 to 60% of roles will have a disruption. 60% is in white-collar roles in first-world countries, and we're definitely going to see that very, very quickly. What also wasn't shared, though, is that there's going to be a huge increase in the number of new roles as well. In fact, more new roles created due to AI because of the impact of productivity and also the change in the way people will work. We're definitely evolving from just learning how to lead people to now the new skill sets will be around leading people and AI. So the good old statement of AI won't take your jobs, we're definitely seeing that's the case, at least for now, but it will definitely be AI-powered people who will take away those from those that are not AI-powered. So it really serves everyone. Well, I cannot stress enough how important it is to be getting on top of AI now so that you can be in front of the competition, whether that's you're a team member working in an organization or you're an owner of an organization and you're competing in the market. Now, this rapid pace of change, or when change occurs, it's not a new thing. We've been going through this through every change of age and within a change of age. Like we moved from being hunters and gatherers into farmers in the agrarian age. And during that age, some things changed, like as an example here. Oh, and then we went through to the Industrial Revolution. And if we look at these two farmers, Farmer A has got 2 bullocks and a plow. Farmer B has got a tractor there. And looks like if I was going to put a bet behind someone, who would I bet? Who would you bet, A or B? Who's going to be the winner in this particular race of the crop production for this year? Sure, we've got lots of Bs will start powering through. It is definitely those that have got the tools that makes the difference. And so having the right tools, now they say a craftsman never blames their tools. In reality, though, you can't compete against a craftsman with great tools compared to another great craftsman who does have the right tools. So, and Steve Jobs said this really well some time ago. I'll share this video. Love this one.
I remember reading an article when I was about 12 years old, I think it might have been in Scientific American, where they measured the efficiency of locomotion for all these species on planet Earth. How many kilocalories did they expend to get from point A to point B? And the condor one came in at the top of the list, surpassed everything else, and humans came in about a third of the way down the list, which was not such a great showing for the crown of creation. And but somebody there had the imagination to test the efficiency of a human riding a bicycle. Human riding a bicycle blew away the condor, all the way off the top of the list. And it made a really big impression on me that we humans are tool builders, and that we can fashion tools that I remember.
Might have a video challenge up there. We've got a black screen showing. The humans are tool builders, right? And that we're able to really heavily impact the results that we get with the right tools. And this is the best way to think about AI. AI is a tool. Hey, Jace, can I just check on my screen? I can see me in full now. Okay, but it was all black there for the screen share. Can I just double check that we can see the screen share? Fantastic. So the AI is a tool, right? And so it's a new tool set. It comes down to how will we use it. Now, I like to think of business in that some things don't change with all the rapid change that goes on. There are actually some principles at play. Like, for example, we need to attract customers. We need to sell to the customers. We need to deliver to the customer. And we need to deliver a value exchange. We need to take care of our team members. We need to support them in what they're doing. We need to continue learning. We need the right IT and so forth and so forth. So these things will remain the same. And if we imagine for a moment we had a garden hose, and that garden hose, sometimes we see it might have a kink in it, might have a few cracks or holes in it, depending on how old it is. But the game for the garden hose is essentially when you turn the water on, you need to get the water to the other end. Now imagine for a moment that every drop of water was a customer going through a customer journey. Now, as businesses scale up, we often see that systems and processes that served us at one point in time don't continue to serve us in the future, and we might see kinks and leakage and so forth. And so we need to be constantly upgrading our systems and processes to evolve so that we can get that beautiful flow of customers through the customer journey and the value exchange happening. Now, when we look at a business, if you think of it like that garden hose, and we chunked it into sections like marketing and sales and customer support, product service delivery, IT, HR, finance, and so forth, then you could imagine that there's probably a few kinks along the way or a few cracks or some holes, and we need to go zero in, make some adjustments to improve those. Now, every time you see an area that requires an improvement in your business from today going forward, my encouragement to you is to say, how could we use AI to support in this section of the process? Rather than trying to jump ahead and solve everything, pick a problem and see how you can further solve it. Now, the plan of attack today, I'm going to take you through the AI Foundation for Business Leaders. I'll share with you the base terminology. Also take you through a range of different ideas of different types of products, services, applications that support. We've got some new ones since we're together for those that are coming back. And then plan and implement. I've got some new, what will be handouts shortly for you to help you with this particular phase. And then I'll take you into the 4 AI roles for business and the new program that we're launching for Chief AI Officers shortly. My name is Matt Kesby. I'm the founder and Chief AI Officer at GoTeam and Multiply Tech. At GoTeam, we support clients around the world with full-time team members based out of the Philippines that are AI-powered. We are definitely the home of AI-powered people to help leverage results at usually like a 60 to 70% cost saving on the human salary, but it's the effort and output and really is where you get the super gains. And Multiply Tech, that's our technology arm where we build the AI tools to help you and your organization scale and exceed. We've been in the space of software development for quite some time now, for me, since 2007. And we also have, thank you, darling, I've got my little 5-year-old here that's decided to come and join me. I'm in my home studio. Hi, Indy. Oh, thank you for the sticker. That's lovely, darling. All right, bye-bye now. And we've been on software, enterprise level systems. We've got one in the payment space in Australia, and prop tech that does do close to $2 billion in transactions this year. Sharing that so that, you know, the space that we work in is to really help solve problems, and through automation and AI and streamlining systems and processes. Now, this whole space, though, apart from technology, is a people play, and it requires us to be very respectful around the change in human behavior or change management. And for me, after a decade working in that space with organizations like Dell and Coca-Cola and Pfizer and these big organizations as well as small ones, when I headed up the strategy execution practice at Franklin Covey, I now wish so much we had AI back in those days, because when we go to change behavior, it's hard, it's difficult, it takes effort. And we need to rewire our brains. And one of the biggest challenges we have is something called the approach avoidance conflict. The moment that we sit down to do the work, if it gets a bit too difficult, that feeling of difficulty is actually a neurochemical adjustment in our brains. You see, norepinephrine is released in our brains at that point in time. Very useful neurotransmitter for starting to get into action. But if we get too much of it before dopamine is released, which is often referred to as the reward process or system in our bodies, there's a bit more than that. But when dopamine is released, it sort of counteracts this desire to procrastinate that will happen. If you get too much norepinephrine, you'll go off and try and find something easier. So one of the real beauties of AI is that it can kind of give us this leverage step forward in our progress, and therefore a dopamine release, and we want to stay at the task for longer. So if you're a business leader and you're working with your team members, think about that challenge that every human being goes through. When they sit down to do the work, norepinephrine will increase. We need to have it a bit more fun, a bit more progress happening quicker for the dopamine to be released. And that's how we're going to use AI. But to get people on board with your ideas, one of the best ways to do it is walk the talk. Actually show people what you're doing, and therefore they can look over your shoulder and go, oh, that doesn't look so scary or so hard. That looks interesting. Maybe I could do it too. And with that, you'll have people moving from fear into love, because love is actually an inquisitive mindset, whereas fear is a victim mindset of, oh, it's not possible. It can't be me. I couldn't do it. And yet when they see others doing it, they go, oh, it's possible now. So you've got a really important part to play in leading others. And you know, we alone, I love the Gandhi paradox. Nothing you do as an individual matters, but it's vitally important to do it anyway. And the key is to show others what's possible. Now, speaking of what's possible, let's have a look at the terminology that grounds us. So then when we look at different ideas, we can see how these elements are at play. The first building block or element is speech to text in artificial intelligence. And that's often where we see dictation occur. We're seeing lots of products come out that are able to record our voices and then transcribe those for us. The next one is the text-to-text, and that's what you see in ChatGPT. Excuse me, where you're typing in the text and you get text out. Okay, so there's another piece to it, but the text-to-text, text-to-speech, right? So your text gets converted into a voice that comes back to you. Huge progress happening in this space right now. Text and data analysis, that's actually what's happening behind the scenes, like when you're interacting with ChatGPT. A lot of it is the analysis. Just like the information goes into our brains, we do the analysis and then it comes out. And you can see what's happening here, like we get speech comes into our brains, our auditory system processes it, and then we process it again for decision-making capability, and then either text comes out if we're typing or words come out if we're speaking. And so it really, to me, the deeper you get into it, the more we get to appreciate that artificial intelligence is, what it says, like artificial compared to human intelligence, but all these interactions that occur are very similar. And when we treat the AI in a similar way as a person, the way we ask questions and interact, we see that, naturally the outcomes are similar to working with the human. Versus kind of thinking that it's all auto-magical. We're definitely in the zone where it's over to us to lead the AI to get the best results out of it. Corporate data access, cannot stress enough how important this one is for businesses. ChatGPT has been a lot of fun for a lot of people. Now it's the time to get into the next layer where we're integrating with our corporate information so that we can get the real benefits from AI. Specifically train models. Actually, I'll cover models in the next slide. Models are where we look at the whole business or system or process or all the way through to what's called a world model, where it's understanding geospatial components, and it's building out a model similar to what's happening in the real world. You can train a model specifically on your industry or your business, and definitely in 2025 we're going to see where we'll end up having our own models for our own businesses. We'll see where we'll probably even in many aspects move off the cloud or off these big suppliers into our own usage of easily spinning up our own models that are available for usage. Costs are going to continue to come down lower and lower. It's quite amazing the changes that we've seen with ChatGPT 4.0 Mini's release earlier this week. Not surprisingly, we saw Meta having a release, and the arms race essentially with AI is on with the big players. But open source, which is free to use, or at least free to access, but then you need to host it and integrate with it, is going to be a big one for businesses, especially those in things like financial services and medical data record processing and personal identifiable information. All right, but you can train models, and there's over 750,000 models that are open source available over on Hugging Face, so a huge amount. Also, we've got actions or function calling. This is the ability to get the AI systems to go and take actions on other systems, very important part. Vision also, reading images, video, it's all about to happen in real time as well with video soon. Now, AI itself, of course, is artificial intelligence. Machine learning is a subset of AI, or ML for short. Often you see the acronym of AI/ML, so artificial intelligence and machine learning. This is more algorithmic, where the computers are actually making progress on its understanding and moving forward and constantly learning and updating itself. A large language model is what we see in the likes of ChatGPT, where this interaction is all about like a human communication experience. ChatGPT by OpenAI, of course we all know that one. It's got the large language model behind it, and we interact it with chat and soon voice. AI agents, an AI agent is an AI entity that does the work you do for you. They use large language models, they use the function calling or the actions, and they're also going to use something called retrieval augmented generation, which is the next one here, or RAG for short. This is where the process that we use to actually integrate with other information, like business systems, so that systems like AI agents can give you an answer from a large language model that's generated from retrieving data from your information stores or your business systems and bringing it together to then present information just like a human would do. Speaking of humans, very important, human in the loop. We're definitely going to be in the loop for a while as we are the ones that guide these systems. Now, human in the loop will be referred to in both the training of AI machine learning models, but also just in the way we interact with them on a daily basis. So let's have a bit of a look at this. Here's our journey and some ideas to help share with you. Our first product we made was a vision product back in 2020, which is a security product that checks twice per second if the person sitting behind the screen is the authorized user, especially when working from home
we
with
will
data.
see
Have a look
it's
at this.
actually checking consistently that it is in fact me.
And so the system checks, you see that little box like you see on Facebook when it's checking a photo and it's picking out the person. We're using similar types of technology and facial recognition. Now, if the user is not the authorized user, we throw up a lock screen and that keeps the data safe on the screen. A huge area for information leakage actually happens wherever laptops are. You take a laptop to a cafe or even at home, someone comes around, there's a big risk in data. Most people don't talk about the risk too much. Results are more important. That's certainly what we love. And we love the way that ChatGPT opened up everyone's minds to what's possible with how to interact with AI, because it's led to so many additional breakthroughs with the utility and being useful with AI. In fact, AI is going to become so useful that it will be as required as electricity to run our businesses. And those that get into this quickly will see it, how fast it happens. It happened for us really rapidly. In March last year, we gave everyone ChatGPT in our own little installable app. And when ChatGPT, OpenAI gets overloaded, or which doesn't happen so much anymore, but last year it was, their infrastructure wouldn't keep up. If that AI chat went down, man, did our support tickets go up really high. And that's what you want to see in your organizations, that people are utilizing AI right throughout the day in many, many touch points, and that it does become a business tool that is as important as electricity. Now, whether you've got B2B salespeople or B2C, we can use AI to help support them. There's a whole range of different opportunities. One is in things like transcribing calls. So if you've got a sales call, making sure you've got maybe a product like read.ai that will listen in on a session, transcribe the call, summarize the call, and then insert that into your CRM. We've seen more recently Zoom and Teams catch up with the transcription features in theirs. Definitely going to be a race in that area. And all of those transcriptions will end up being critical to building more information that can support your business, right? Today, I'm working on an AI phone calling system for a client, and they've got 100 different positive sales calls that are transcribed, and we're using that to train the AI to be able to then handle sales calls within their organization. But you will always need humans as well. We're not going to say we'll hand it all over to the AI. Humans need to practice their sales calls and their sales presentations. One way to do that is through role playing. Most people don't role play because their ego gets in the way. They kind of feel a bit concerned about being judged, and yet we need to practice and get feedback, that feedback loop to work. So back in May last year, we built the ability for a salesperson to practice their sales presentation with the AI. Here's a little sneak peek of it.
Hi there, Alex. It's Matt from Real Play. Thanks for taking my call today. Just checking, we've got about 10 minutes together on this call.
That's an interesting question. Hi, Matt. It's great to meet you. It's nice to have this time to understand the potential of Real Play and how it could positively impact the way we do business at Precision Solutions Incorporated. I'm excited to learn more.
Now, that system there actually shifts over to being a sales coach afterwards and coaches the salesperson on 6 key areas of sales, allowing them to improve or practice in private and win in public. Now, that's a really great way to look at how AI works for people. They can do the work sort of privately and then win in public, as in the net results that come out. Whenever you're looking at AI, I must recommend very deeply that before getting caught at looking at different products, think about what is the business goal or challenge that you're trying to solve, and then apply it. I know for our Go Team business, we have over 1,000 team members and anywhere from 1,000 to 3,000 people applying every week to come and join the organization. And so just getting to interview everyone at that volume is very challenging. Whether you're a volume size or you're a small business and you're going through the interviewing process with new talent, that moment there often puts a lot of pressure on your own systems. Like if you're the one that needs to do the interviewing, but you don't normally interview as part of your day job, then all of a sudden we've got to, what are the best ways that I need to ask the questions? How do I create the questions? Where do I schedule the time? And great people are often already working, so you need to do interviews after hours, and it can just be so challenging that we risk in the level of bias just picking someone that's available. And the statistics will tell us that a cost of a bad hire is around $14,000 and upwards. So being able to be as effective as possible in the recruitment process is critical. The challenge is we are humans, so we can't do these things consistently unless we've built really strong habits, and even then it's challenging. So we built a AI interview platform where the AI will write the position description, load the job ad up online. It'll then do the interviews and full analysis afterwards. And you get to see a full analytics for each applicant and rank them as well. Where it writes the position description, it then goes on to write the questions, the answers, poor, good, and excellent. It posts a job ad online. It runs the interview via video.
How do you ensure that your product vision aligns with the overall business objectives and goals?
I love this question. This is one of the key things a product director must learn to do.
Now, it actually then gives us the full transcription. It shares where they excelled, room for improvement, shares that with the applicant, which is amazing in their experience. Goes on with AI to qualification scores, behavioral scores, personality profiling, and also international English language test standard assessment using AI in a similar way that you'd be paying like $300 to do an assessment. So it's quite remarkable what's possible there. And you can see in that one, we're using speech to text, text to speech, text to text, text analysis. We're using retrieval augmented generation. We're doing a whole gambit in there to make this particular process super streamlined and therefore a tool that has high utility. Now, we see on average the cost of running interviews is about 8 cents. So it's quite remarkable what's possible when you're using these tools. Now, we as humans, this is a McKinsey and research study at work, spend about 19% of the week asking internal questions and searching for data. That's a fair bit of time. That's essentially a day a week. Now, we can start to shift that when we look at things like using AI agents to interact with. Now, an AI agent is an AI entity that does the work you do for you. And previously, the realm of software developers is now accessible in a no-code approach. We see it here in Rhea Pro, Rhea.pro, REA.pro. And in this video, it looks like ChatGPT, but it can build out these agents that are specialists in their particular area. Then you can engage those agents to do different tasks by building a workflow so that these can be set on repeat. Soon these will be set up with automated routines, and you can connect them to external tool sets as well. In this example here, in a simple request to create an article based on research on the internet, or the latest research, as well as writing an article, an email, and some social media posts, it actually goes off and does all that work. It brings together this swarm or team of AI agents, goes through and executes the work. And in this example, does about 6 to 8 hours of work in just minutes. It's fascinating. Now, another area that's important with AI is your data and your documentation. So in your business, if you haven't started writing SOPs, standard operating procedures or processes yet, or you're very advanced in it, either way, wherever you are, you're always needing to update those. Having somewhere that you can store them is critical so that the AI can then talk to it. Now, on top of that, you can use the systems like this is ours, the source wiki. Let's say if I was creating a procedure on posting on LinkedIn. In order to get things started, I could actually use AI to write a detailed procedure, use that as my starting point. Okay, rather than sitting down, if you ever had this one before where you go to sit down to write the procedure, it's like you know how to do it, but it's kind of tedious. Use the AI to get started so that norepinephrine is going to be held at bay by the dopamine as it's like, okay, let's start. I can edit, I can adjust. That's a lot faster than having to start from scratch. So great way to do it. Where it becomes even more powerful, though, is that you can link your AI agents into it. And imagine that you've got all your systems and procedures written and documented in the source wiki. You can now use an AI agent to connect to that and create role-specific agents. So people, when they start work or do any of their work in their role, if they've ever got a question, they can ask AI first, because people usually don't read the procedures, even if you've got them well documented, or they might read them once but they don't remember them in full, or once there's a high volume of them, it's sometimes easier to just ask a question. But rather than interrupting someone else, you can actually have these AI agents that appear downloaded so a team member can interact with them directly and get their answers out. Now, this, of course, starts in chat, but where it's going is to voice. And likely to see this from us as soon as OpenAI does their next release on their API with their new voice technology. We'll see this come into our Raya Pro. Here's an example of what the future will look like.
Who were the last 3 customers that purchased from us?
Hey Matt, the last 3 customers were Jacob Winters, Heavenly Architecture, Sarah Allen of Oak Ridge Outdoors, Robert Masters, Better Built Homes.
Thanks, Raya. How much did Better Built Homes spend and how did they hear about us?
Hey Matt, Better Built Homes spent $7,000. This is their first purchase and were referred by Randy Richard by Jacob Winters from Heavenly Architecture. Would you like me to draft a thank you email to Jacob?
Wow. So imagine that you're doing the interaction and then it proactively recommends the next steps and to take those. That is the future of where we're going with AI agents. We also, for ourselves, it might fit times for you also that you get to a point where with all the different AI tools out there, something customers required within your organization. And so one thing that we do for our people business is we've got a strategic workforce planning tool, which helps for organizations think about what's possible with building teams offshore that are enabled with AI. How we break it down to these similar pillars: marketing, sales, product, service delivery, customer service, and so forth and so forth. And you're able to actually use the AI to help brainstorm out ideas of different types of roles that can be handled. Now, you can go one step further. Apart from those ideas, we can go into building out position descriptions. We can build those with AI. It'll write the position description. It'll do job competencies, skill, objectives and key results, KPIs, processes, procedures, tasks. It'll write it all. And it's an incredible starting point, especially if you're going to hire a new role and you have that moment of, what's the position description? What are the goals going to be? The AI is really super helpful. That's what we use internally and with our clients. The next big area, voice, AI phone calling is going to become huge. In fact, it's so large, it's understanding of how large it will get in the US that the laws have changed around it. In the US, users need to opt in before they receive an AI phone call. We're releasing in August the ability to do this. Where AI phone calling can be used: appointment setting, support calls, accounts receivable, even things like new employee onboarding. Here's an example of a mock-up. We've got sort of one call that I've cut it into 2 parts, but this is an example of an AI phone call.
Hey there.
Hi.
Hi, Thomas. This is Matt from Go Team. I noticed that you've recently applied for a position. I wanted to reach out and discuss the next steps in the hiring process. Are you available to chat for a few minutes?
Yeah, for sure.
Once you complete your profile and go through the AI interview, we'll be able to assess your fit for the role more accurately. If you have any more questions or need assistance at any point, feel free to reach out. Have a great day, and I look forward to the
before you go, quick question. What's the office address?
Of course, Thomas. Our office address is 9th floor, I-1 building, Jose Mall. Del Mar, IT Park, Apas, Cebu City, Philippines. If you need further directions or have any other inquiries, please don't hesitate to ask.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, systems like this can go off. You can, like, a phone call can be taken, an appointment can be set. It can update your CRM with the calendar updates. You can then set automations to send the calendar invites off to the customer. You can update the CRM contact records with the information that was on the call, either the full transcription or components of it. This is one that we're building out ourselves right now, so we can see it becoming very powerful and it's a support, especially being able to take calls 24/7. Not just phone calls though, chat ends up being a really important part of people's businesses. And today we can do straight up direct AI chat on the website from the Raya Pro AI agents. It can actually be even linked to things like, in this example here, a sales video with its transcription as its base foundation of knowledge. And you can train the agent to be able to answer questions and not answer certain things as well. It's also important. And August, September, we'll be releasing AI with live chat combined together, because that's the ultimate one there. The AI might be able to take care of 90% of the conversations and then hand over to a live person. Where it gets tricky, and one of the problems that we're solving, is that you can have different types of people interacting with your chat. You might have a potential customer, an actual customer, client, someone who's been purchasing, and then a team member, all with a range of questions, but the type of data that they're able to access needs to change. And so the sophistication of how you set these up is actually really important. Otherwise, they end up being very limited, or they share too much too soon. So it's finding the right balance and having the right structure for it. Now, all the change that we're going through, we're going to see that with humans, there's going to be a faster behavioral change required. And so mindset will be really important. And we're going to need to be changing our goals more frequently than before. And so if you've got metrics or goals in your organization, you may have heard of the methodologies like OKRs, objectives and key results, or KPIs and KRAs, or maybe 4 disciplines of execution, one by Franklin Covey. At the end of the day, these are all metrics. And what's important for team members or for humans is that we create a winnable game, something that people can set their targets on, execute on the work, and actually see the results. Now, our platform here, our OKRX app, actually uses AI to help write the goals, come up with the goal ideas and the metrics. And shortly, we'll also see coming out in Q4. In our system, we do things like daily huddles around the metrics, making commitments. The AI will soon suggest the types of commitments that will help drive the metrics forward. We also do one-on-ones with team members in a structured format. Soon the AI will be a coach to actually help coach the leader and the team member on how to be more effective. For the leader, how to be a better leader. For the team member, how to be a more impactful team member. And so we'll see where AI will become so infused in what we're doing, because things like learning on how to be a great leader, often it's either you're reading a book or maybe you go away to an event, but often we need it right there in the moment. And so AI can be this supportive friend, guide, mentor, guru all the way throughout our journey on a daily basis. Now, in a world where there's lots of distractions, I'm sure you feel it too, there's so many different new things going on and messages going off, we often struggle to find the ability to focus and get into something called flow state or the zone. Now, AI is going to help us very much get into flow state, but so long as we can turn off all the distractions. At Multiply Tech, we're about to release our focus product, which is actually called Power Hour. And it's will be available through Zoom as a Zoom integration. And with it, we gamify the ability to get into flow state and do the deep work. Now, how this works is we all jump online for a 1-hour session. We do a 5-minute planning ritual, 50 minutes of attack of getting into the deep work, and a 5-minute celebration. It works very much on neurochemistry and physiology and gamification. And just as McKinsey shares in their research, when you get into flow state, you can achieve up to 500% output in your work. But heck, even if you're getting double the output in a 50-minute deep work session, you are far in front. Now, we practice two power hours a day using this approach to impact our results. And what we always see after a session, people who do it is like, wow, I achieved so much. So gamification and AI in this one to help support. All right, I've shared a bunch of tools to get your ideas going. We've got a poll to share now. This one, if there's anything that you've seen on there that looks useful in your organization, put that in there. What looks useful for you? Having AI to support in marketing, AI to support in sales, AI to support in all roles, AI for job interviewing. I think you can pick as many as you like today. You don't have to pick just one. Personalized AI assistance, 24 sessions, chat. This isn't for me to come and sell to you. I just want to get a temperature check to see what is of interest, because when we get into the planning piece next, these are the types of ideas foundationally to get you started. If we don't have examples of what to look at, when you see a problem, we won't know how to apply the AI just yet. So I hope this serves you well. Okay, righto, let's end that poll. Let's post the results there and I'll share those results. So your marketing, sales, AI agents in all roles, interviewing, okay, not surprisingly, across our journey together, there's a fair spread about all of these items. And that's pretty natural. And it will depend on where you're at in your process. Now, here is something that I'm going to turn into a handout for you. It's a planning page. Now, before jumping into think about which product, which bright, shining new object that you're going to go off, first place to start is to look at each of these departments and do a brainstorming exercise. First of all, on what is the major goal or objective that you're going after. Then what's holding you back, or what are the challenges from achieving that goal? Now, when we do this well, we'll often come up with behaviors that need to change, and that's a great zone for where we will go and find the AI to support us. So for example, marketing, it's not rocket science, you've got to generate more leads. Sales, it's not rocket science, you need to generate more sales. Sometimes we get a bit lost in trying to overcomplicate this, but when we keep it quite simple, we'll find that we'll get great impacts really quickly. So if I was in marketing, generating leads, I might have a challenge with consistency and messaging, understanding the brand voice to get it right. Authority leadership and content creation is critical in today's market. As they say now, people don't want to be sold to, but they do want to buy. So we need to get the right information out there so that they're encouraged, enthused, and we move them through the process to get to a point where they move from being completely unaware to problem aware to solution aware to then product aware, that's your product, to the point where then they're saying, hey, I think that might suit me. Now, salespeople, it's all about revenue at the end of the day. Things like speeding up the initial sales meeting, or speeding up the onboarding process of a salesperson, or needing to book more appointments, or the good old one, get the notes in the CRM in enough detail that will be worthwhile. Or maybe it's over at customer support where you want customer delight or net promoter score. Clients need to be supported outside of business hours. It's like, real struggle for most businesses. And there's definitely a one where AI is going to come in. But you see the other ones there, like operations, delivery in full on time in specification. If you haven't seen that metric before, it's very much one in manufacturing. Computer uptime for IT, for finance, cash collection, doing the debt collection, and HR, like hiring talent and so forth. And so many more, but a few ideas to get you started. Now from here, it's then when you take each of those items and you start to look at what are the different AI solutions that can then fulfill each of those items. So you start by planning with the challenges, and then you go through a discovery process to look for what a solution could be. And then from there, plan it out on your strategic roadmap. Because what I guarantee is when you get into this, there'll be way more ideas and areas to think of to apply AI than there is either the time to implement or the finances to make those changes. And during that, therefore, we're, as humans, we can only store so much information into our prefrontal cortex and actually hold those ideas there. We need to get them written down. We need to put them into a plan. We need to be able to place them in a way that we can communicate to the organization what's coming next and then budget for them as those changes occur. Now, organizations soon will all need a chief AI officer or someone who sits in that role, sometimes wearing two hats, to help guide this process to make sure we're focused on the most important things. Now, as you look at each of those elements that came up before, we can then make a decision, will we buy or will we build? Is our data ready to connect to these systems? Is it a item that's focused on revenue or cost or customer or product or other? And then from there, map it out on this matrix. We're either going to see that the project, the implementation will have low or high value, or from a time to implement, it will be low or it will be high. And so one of the areas to start is to look at those that are going to be in the low and fast to implement, so you can get some quick wins. It's not too complex. It might be things like setting up an AI chatbot through our Raya Pro system for customer interactions. It could be things like setting up your knowledge base with an AI agent connected to it, so every team member has their own AI agent they can talk to and actually save time and rapidly improve quality and results. Or it might be bigger impact items like using AI agents for content marketing and lead generation and so forth. Or it might go into some more complex areas with high value, but may take longer to get there. And I would caution this zone about investing too heavily in big projects that might be 2 years out because of the speed of change. 10x change per year with AI means that maybe going off and building individual systems, unless you're productizing them to sell them, but for custom work inside organizations, there's going to be so many new ways to connect systems together shortly. Probably be able to do a lot of things that you were thinking might be a separate system in 2 years' time. In 6 or 8 or 9 or 12 months' time, you might have achieved the same thing at a much cheaper price. But watch out for the bright, shiny object. They're the pet projects that are not high value and will take a long period of time and take you down the rabbit hole. Now, how do you get all those elements in the right spaces? Well, there's 9 questions that are important to ask. And they are, what's the business area? Is it customer, revenue, profit, product, or other? What does the process look like today versus tomorrow when you get the AI in place? What will be the financial impact of the change? How much will it, what's the positive impact, or revenue increase, profit increase through savings? Or what's the cost of change? Because there'll always be some cost in the change. You're either building something or you're buying something to get there. What are the risks of not changing? Are they low, medium, high, or extreme? And how complex is that adoption? Is it low? Is it high? How long will it take? Does the business case stack up as a result? And how ready is your data? That's going to help you get those populated onto your strategic roadmap. Keep remembering that garden hose analogy. Keep aligning it out so you've got the different sections of your business, and actually keep coming back to this every 90 days on seeing how well have you gone in your implementations, what has the impact been, and what are the next changes you're going to make. Now, you don't need to wait 90 days, but I think it's important that you start to set a rhythm of report out around your AI implementations and something for a chief AI officer to guide and monitor. You can do this a lot faster as well. The principles behind this are discover, design, deploy, educate, execute, and evaluate. And so you need to go through the discovery process first to say, hey, what's the goal? What are the challenges? What are the products that we might use? What are the approaches? Design it out so you begin with the end in mind about what's going to be created. Then deploy it. Use it yourself, whatever that approach is. Once you've got it working effectively, because it's not always going to work exactly as you want straight away, you need to often prompt AI and give it guidance and connect to systems. Then when you've got it at a suitable level, build the education around it. So if you're needing to bring on others in your organization to use these tools, educate them, then execute, and get to evaluation. Now, while you're executing, you're still evaluating, reprompting, optimizing, getting the changes occurring. And you can run this in a single day, or if it's if it's a small project like it's a AI agents in a flow, maybe you do this within an hour or less. But it's good to start thinking about things like a 5-day sprint here where you do discover, design, deploy the first day in amongst your day job. do education and execute the next day, and then execute, and then do a retrospective, report out, evaluate how did it go. Or if it's a bigger implementation, do it over 90 days, especially if you're in larger organizations and you've got rollouts to do. Even though I use the word sprint, that's an agile term, please view this as a marathon versus a sprint, in that we will be constantly applying AI. It's just part of what our daily lives are about to be. And remember, I love this proverb, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. You're going to need a team, right? You're empowering your team members with the AI. And with this, there are 4 new roles to consider. And as Jim Collins says, first who, then what. Let's make sure we get the right seats on the bus heading in the right direction to get the results we're after. The 4 roles are Chief AI Officer, AI Implementation Engineer, and Flow Engineer, and the AI Implementation Consultant. So Chief AI Officer does not need to be a machine learning expert or have completed a degree in AI, but it is important that they're interested in the technology and are willing to learn about it. Not at the full extent, because very few organizations are going to need to adopt full machine learning and actually build out AI. We can now stand on the shoulders of giants, leverage off what's happening from the open source community, as well as large organizations like OpenAI. And actually, the Chief AI Officer needs to fall in love with technology and AI and fall in love with process improvement in order to get extreme gains in the organization. And with that, someone who's got a breadth of understanding of the organization so they can think strategically, and it will be over to them to ensure that these implementations deliver and deliver results. You will not find a lot of Chief AI Officers on the job boards, because this is a new skill set. So I'm going to help you out with that in a moment. Number 2 is the AI Implementation Engineer. This is someone that requires technical capabilities, often being able to write in Python and JavaScript, two key languages required there. And they're going to help you connect your business systems together and make sure that your overall system's in place. This might, depending on the type of organization, for many this will be a full-time role. For others, it might be project-based. But a flow engineer is a skill set of being able to create AI agents and put them into workflows. Now, we see this will become a basic requirement for every role, but you'll have different levels of certifications. People who are probably sort of going almost even an AI implementation engineer at its highest level. In flow engineering, 2024 will be seen as the year of the AI agents, and in 2025 there will be many that are sort of left behind going, oh my goodness, why are my competitors just running ahead so fast? The 4th one there is the AI Implementation Consultant. And with this one, this is all about having somebody who can help guide the first 3 so that you can move faster when it comes to actually delivering upon the results. Now, quick poll. Which of the following roles do you see supporting your business in the future? Let's launch poll 3 there. And see which of those actually stand out for you. Got a poll there, nice. Drum roll for nice, launching the poll. Here it is, fantastic. Which of these roles do you see supporting your organization in the future? Doesn't have to be immediately, but from what you've heard so far, where you see the opportunities lie. Cool. Great, let's close out that poll now. Well done, everybody. Thank you for your contribution. Chances are, for some, you might be wearing all of these hats initially as well, depending on the size of your organization. And with that, that's pretty normal. It's just about upskilling in this new zone. So Chief AI Officer, 43%, AI Implementation Engineer, 86%, Flow Engineer, 57%, and Implementation Consultant, 40%. So it's looking about normal. Now, we'd love to be able to help you out if you need some help. If you'd like to build out a team of people who are AI powered, then over at GoTeam, the home of AI powered people, we can certainly assist you with that. Happy one of our team members can jump on a call and have a chat. We're constantly upskilling, as you can see. We keep pushing out the education in this zone. You can book a call with us. The upskilling in the AI space is 2 key areas. One, flow engineering. I see we've got a few of our flow engineers on the chat today. Welcome on the session. Our Flow Friday sessions will help you out with those. You can join those by clicking on the link or going to the link multiply.tech flow-Friday, spelled with an AI on the end, or you can visit us over on our YouTube channel for that one. These sessions are about to get every Friday you get to work alongside of me as we build out AI agents and flows. And as you start to practice those, it's definitely the time to get in now, because they're about to get wild as we move into the space of integrations shortly. And that's when you'll see the AI agents integrate into all different types of businesses and systems and driving automation. So get in early, get started on becoming a flow engineer so you'll be prepared for what's coming next. Now, the Chief AI Officer 90-day bootcamp, it still says August on that slide. We're moving it into September because we've got a fair bit of client work on at the moment. The Chief AI Officer 90-day implementation bootcamp, it'll be a live hands-on 2-hour workshop, and this has got to change. We're going to do the 2-hour workshop every 2 weeks, and then in between, you'll basically have 2 weeks to do your implementation, and we'll have a help session on that following week, so you can get more hands-on and slow things down and ask questions. There'll be practical work plans, a community, an online campus for all of the education pieces that we show, plus other elements. You'll get a personal AI assistant to support you across the 90-day plan and access to all of our tech products during that time. So you'll have full access to all the products. The only additional costs, to be clear on that, will be if you bring your own AI for AI credits. That's normal with our products, and phone calls. You'll get some credits for phone calls, but then once you release it out into the wild post-testing, then there'll be naturally charges for calls, just as per normal. Everyone will have AI living on the desktops in your organization. You'll rapidly jump ahead on that. Imagine being able to have phone support or outbound calls happening as well. All of that will be achieved within the 90-day session. We'll go beyond just the tools. We're going to go into mindset. We even cover some of the important parts of legislation with AI as well, so you can act responsibly. But really the intent there is that you've gone through and done multiple implementations right to their full component, so that as a Chief AI Officer, even if they're just proof of concepts in your organization, you've got what you need to then be able to expand that out. And it will really shift you into becoming an AI first organization after just a 90-day period. So if you're interested in that one, there's a lot of detail behind it, more to come out as I'm finishing it off, the really cool stuff going into it. I'm cautious of not completely overloading, but the reason why we've changed this to a 2-hour workshop, 1 week, we've got basically a 2-week sprint to implement, but there'll be a help session, live open Q&A, hands-on help session each week as well. So it's every second week. So we'll rotate those around. If that's of interest, please just ping me an email, matt@multiply.tech, and it will be a small group. I want to ensure that everyone that comes on board is a good fit, and we can make sure we can get some remarkable, radical, game-changing results within your organizations. Well, thanks everybody. Appreciate you being on today. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. If you want to go fast and far, then we encourage you to go with Go Team and Multiply Tech. If there's others in your organization that you would like to invite along to these sessions, we do run them weekly so they can get to understand. Yes, I mentioned a book. So in conjunction with the 90-day bootcamp, I'm writing a book that's aligned to that whole process there. And we've also got to share with you some worksheets that we'll get out a little later today as well. Ryan had a question. Ryan's got a question about the repeat of the information. So the idea is that in general, we repeat this so that you can invite someone else along. We also have these recordings available online on our YouTube channel. But each week I'll be adding extra little elements and taking some out. And for those that have been before, you might have seen I've added a couple of new ones in today. But, when you're getting new to this, it's getting terminology. Often you need to see it a few times before it makes sense. Or, I don't know if you've ever had this one where you see it, then you go, oh yeah, I've got it all. Then you walk away, and then 2 days later it's like, oh, what's going on again? So we welcome you back as often as you like, and to bring your team along as well. All right, we're right on time. Thanks everybody. Great to see you here for the AI Strategic Roadmap. Looking forward to seeing you. Hey, come along tomorrow to our Flow Friday session if you like, if you haven't been there before. Flow Fridays are Chris is saying, glad to hear it's postponed to September. It sounds like your August is busy as well. Yeah. The Flow Fridays are on at 11 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. I'm actually going to share with you tomorrow handling difficult conversations in organizations using the non-violent communication framework. Now, that is an amazing framework, but really tricky to get your head around. And if you go and do education on it, it'll take a lot of practice. I'm going to show you how to use AI to rapidly turn you into an absolute rock star so you can have massive impact in your organizations. Hey, thanks everyone. Thanks, Ezio. Thanks, David. Thank you for Chris for sending out. Thanks. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you tomorrow or in the next session very soon. Bye for now.